All right. I'll just do a quick little introduction. I don't know if this will ever get posted anywhere, but hey, thanks everyone for joining. We are going to play a game. If we have to get more professional than that, we'll do a different recording for that later on. But here is the adventure. Okay. It is Monday morning. It is the first shift. In fact, it's a little bit before 4 a.m. You have all been called. Actually, you weren't even called to come into the station. Laura Barnes called each of you at home to meet at the Montrell Hotel. She doesn't say much because she doesn't know exactly what's going on. Only that the regular Flatfoots caught wind of a case, and as soon as they found out that there was a mutant involved, they dropped it into your guys' laps. You push your way through a crowd of pro and anti-mutant protesters that are on their way to the hotel, still this early in the morning. Jostling in the cluster is a reporter wearing a WW button. She reaches out with a contact card and tells, let's see now, I'm going to say, hands Ron Staton a business card. She goes, hey, I got some information that, hey, you're going to find that useful. The crowd shoves her back into a mass of people and you completely lose sight of her. You all enter the convention hall of the Montrell Hotel. It's largely empty. Streamers proclaiming vote for Teal hang limply from the trestles and crumpled paper cups litter the floor. A sturdy stage with lights and a full band kit is set up on one side. The smell of stale sweat fights with cigarette smoke and the shampoo cleaner. An exhausted police officer walks over and gives you guys the rundown. Okay, here's what we know. After a fundraiser for the federal candidate for this Chelsea person, the lead singer for the band, the Only Good Mutant, they were involved in some sort of altercation in the private suite upstairs. Okay, this Wilson guy claiming self-defense. The alleged attacker was killed, was taken to the morgue. Wilson's bodyguard, this Rashid guy, was taken to a hospital after taking a bullet to the shoulder. As soon as we found out that the Al Manzoor guy was a freak like you, sorry, a heightened person like you guys, um, we called you. All right. Hey, there's no cameras on the private suite level due to the privacy clauses for the clientele, so we can't find anything there. Hey, good luck. And the guy who's obviously one of the last guys that were there from the regular units just walks away, leaving you guys alone at the hotel. In order, because this is it's going to go around in a circle for how you guys are set up. Aaron, tell me about your character. What do they look like?
Yeah, Steve Grabowski, known as the Book, he's all about the commercial crimes, and he looks like he spent most of his professional career firmly behind a computer monitor, right, sitting at the keyboard. It sort of nominally a Caucasian male, about 5'10", with brown hair and brown eyes, middle-aged, moderate build, but he's kind of starting to show that maybe he needs to hit the gym a little bit of a paunch. I say sort of nominally Caucasian because when there's clear sunlight on him, his skin is actually sort of an earthy gray, almost like a light gray color. It doesn't show as much when you're sitting under on that, sort of artificial lighting, but otherwise tends to blend in fairly well in a crowd, except for that gray pitch whenever you see him related to his mutant powers.
And Eric?
I am Brock Lewis, codename Brickhouse. Tall, about 6'3", jet black hair, sort of like permanent 5 o'clock shadow. Uh, he's very lean, uh, but probably like the suits that he's wearing. You can't really tell how built he might possibly be, but he might be very built. Um, Almost always wears sunglasses, even indoors. And you three might be some of the few people that have seen him without his sunglasses, and his eyes are just white. There are no pupils, no nothing, just like pure white. Um, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Rachel?
I am Jody Pulsfut. I Night Nurse is my code name. I am like super unnaturally pale. Like circle eyes, sunken cheeks, like kind of very unhealthy and like not. You have heard people say I look a bit like a zombie in some ways. Just and my eyes are like red and bloodshot. And but I'm not the girl from The Ring because I have like unnaturally blonde hair. Like very light, almost white hair.
Perfect. That's awesome. And Jordan?
It's Kitty, my height.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm 5'7", if you're curious. Aaron, what my height means.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I'm playing Ron Stanton. His code name is the Hound. He's a Caucasian male, about 5'6", with a very stocky build, unnaturally broad shoulder with green eyes. If you look at his hair, he normally wears a hat, but instead of hair on the top of his head, he has brown and white fur, like a dog.
All right, so there's no escaping. Like you 100% look like a mutant.
Mhm.
All right, perfect. All right, uh, you guys decide right now. Have you guys been working with each other a lot? Is this your first case together? Um, did your powers just start exhibiting each other and just got dumped into here? Or have you been in the HCIU for a while? And let's go back around the horn. Jordan?
Yeah, he would be in the HCIU for a while. Used to be on robbery, as he is fairly noticeably a mutant, unless he's wearing, a very full covering hat. He did get moved over to the HCIU fairly quickly.
Okay. And Rachel?
Uh,
Sorry, full set.
I think the same. I've been around for a bit, and so I've definitely worked with Ron before. For the rest, depending on their things. But yeah, my powers have been manifested for a while.
Okay. And Lewis?
Powers are fairly new, and I'm going to say that uh, I might have known you guys, but probably not worked very long with you guys as a group.
Okay, perfect. And Grabowski.
Steve, sort of fifth, sixth page news. Used to work for the DOJ on commercial crimes, and then his powers emerged when he accidentally touched a really important government computer, and his high energy dispersal powers kicked in, and he wiped out a huge portion of the DOJ's records. And he's now been sent down to work at the HCIU. So he is no longer with the feds.
That's 100% how most of the stuff happens, right? You guys, like your department, like no one likes you, no one respects you. You're given this brand new facility recently. Okay, it was kind of a coup to see if this sort of thing kind of can work. Okay. So you guys have probably messed up quite a bit. In fact, it goes all the way top to Laura Barnes. Give you a little bit of information for her. She was an up and coming detective in the Big Apple in New York. Um, and quite famously, she was the golden child, representative for mutants being on the police force, until her power got away from her and it was in a hostage situation, and her power actually killed the hostage. She immediately got busted down. She got sent away, and now she's sent to the heartland of this tri-state area, kind of Pittsburgh type area. And now she's all the way down to a sergeant again. So she will fight for you. She's got your back, but she hates being here. Okay. All right. Adventurers. So it sounds like a lot of you have worked together, except for Lewis is maybe a little bit newer to the team. Knows you guys know each other. Uh, the three of you have worked together before. Lewis is kind of a new guy. Okay. All right. You guys, what do you want to do?
Are there's like no like uniform police caution tape, anything like that where we are right now?
No, not in the area that you're at. If you go back to the private elevator, like there'll be some tape back there. But how do you guys want to go? Do you all want to go to the crime scene, which is the upstairs? Um, I'm just gonna say yes. I'm gonna do it that way.
I
Just
do
for
want to go to the
efficiency.
front desk, go to the front desk and get a list of everybody that's booked in the hotel,
Okay.
just to have that on us if we can.
Yeah, you meet with Trent Doolittle. He's listed under the VIPs. He is going to be listed as your person of contact for the hotel. And he's just like, "Oh God, thank God you're here. You're gonna get this mess cleaned up, right? Like this is too big. Like this is the place for the week-long rally, okay?" And he's like, and you guys will be like super quiet, and like you guys won't like be anywhere where people can see you, right?
We're going to need your full cooperation, and we'll get it done as quickly as efficiently as possible. Full
Yeah,
cooperation.
yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, I can get you that. Yeah, I'll get you that name. And Trent seems to be wanting to get this just done with, right? Whatever you need, he'll try and get you that information as quickly as possible to get you out of there. So yeah, he does that.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the crime scene. All right, you get to the elevator. Okay. The only way up to the suite is a private elevator, where the inside is covered with bloodied fingerprints. The doors, you go up to about, I don't know, like the third or fourth floor. That's about how tall the hotel is. The doors open to a short marble hallway. More blood is
Um,
smeared. What's that? Oh, sorry, I thought I heard
as
something.
we're going up in the elevator, I want to be getting getting fingerprints.
Yep,
Thanks.
not a problem. Um, seeing where was that? Short marble hallway. More blood. Oh, it's okay. Is more blood is smeared on the outside of the doorway surrounding a shallow crimson pool. Innumerable footprints splotch to and from the elevator, probably from the flatfoots that have come through here already. On the inside of the hotel room, the door is open. A headache-inducing volume of music blares from speakers inside the room, drowns out all reasonable conversation levels. There's an ashtray filled to the brim with Ursine brand cigarettes, and a single clove fills the room with a sickly sweet smell. What was once a pristine white stone in marble apartment is more seemingly just random blood splatters. A flag denotes where the body was found, partially in the jacuzzi, which is now frothing pink. All right, so how this game works is I've already given you clues for the room. Okay. Now you tell me what skill you would like to use, how you're using that skill, to see if you can get another clue. Okay. There's some things that I have already written out, like if they use like these 4 or 5 clues, you're gonna get stuff. Okay. Now there is, and of course I'm not gonna have it handy. There it is. They recommend using this thing that indicates once an area has been bled dry of either clues that you can possibly get or of dramatic sensibilities, I hold this up and we just move on to the next scene. Okay. I don't know if we're really going to need it, but we have it because your initial response is going to go through and use every single one of your 40 some skills, right? Don't do that. Hopefully, I've given you enough descriptions that'll make sense for what skills to use. So take a look at what you have and get to detective. Detectives, yes, Rachel.
I will use fingerprinting. Is the skill I have.
Yes, perfect. All right, Cole said,
Get all the bloody fingers.
yep, the night nurse starts going through, pulling out fingerprints. Now, normally what I would say is that, well, you gotta wait to get the answers for that by pulling the fingerprints, but we're gonna count this all as the first shift of Monday, okay? Chelsea Teal is going to give her speech on Saturday, okay? You guys don't have to keep track of that. I'll keep track of it for you, but I just want to give you a heads up. Okay. Yeah. Fingerprinting, absolutely. After eliminating known law enforcement personnel, analysis shows that there were 4 people inside the room that night. And now to get the names of those people, you're gonna have to take it back to the station. But we got 4 distinct fingerprints that were there that were not cops.
And with the list that I have, how many people were supposed to be staying in this room?
Just Goose Wilson.
Just Goose.
Do we have to like take turns?
You don't have to. Like, if you have an idea, throw it out there. Or if someone wants to
Necessary.
jump
I
in,
was
like,
I
yeah, because this
needed
is
to
going to
wait
be
for
your
somebody else.
area. Your character is the forensic expert, right? So the night nurse is
Mhm.
probably going to have a lot of skills for the collecting of whatever to find the right stuff, right? So yeah, go nuts.
Exactly.
The body is not here, though,
Yeah.
correct?
Correct. No, there's just a flag for where the body was at, which seemed to be, it's right next to the jacuzzi. So they were either half in the jacuzzi or in the jacuzzi wholly when they were killed.
Do we know how they were killed? Or they just found dead? We don't know anything more than that.
Nope. You'll have to go to the morgue.
Okay.
And
Are there
I'm
any
just going to
windows in
jump
the
in
room?
with more evidence.
Sorry, Rachel.
Oh, I have a delay. It's very frustrating, but that's okay.
I just want to know if there's any other way out of this room other than the doors that we went through.
Not reasonably, right? Because it's a private suite, the windows do open, but you're 4 stories up, and everything looks intact.
No blood, like bloody fingerprints on by the windows or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay.
Was it Colset?
So
Pulsfut. Sorry.
Post feet.
Or was someone else?
Am I back? Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
You're back.
Okay, I was trying to see if I connected to a hotspot instead of the internet, if the delay would vanish. But I did want to do some more evidence collection. I mean, I want to take some of the cigarettes. I want to take pictures of all the footprints and measurements for feet sizes and a sample of the jacuzzi water.
Okay. Yep. You start putting yourself together. You get out your little case. You start looking at stuff, taking photos. You find a bullet casing is found outside of the room near the elevator. The investigator also finds a letter typed to Goose Wilson, threatening legal action for breach of contract from the ABC studios.
So I'll take that letter. Yeah, I'm not much in terms of the actual crime scene itself. So what I'm going to do is I'll take that letter and I guess go. Not sure if it would be forensic accounting or research, maybe some mix of the two of those, to go start looking into both the contracts that I can track down, and then sort of what might be going on. Start digging through what might be in the media, music journal, music articles, and the press, whatever. So yeah, I guess that would be for a mix of forensic accounting, research. Yeah, those two.
Okay. Taking a look at it, so the Flatfoot's probably missed it because it was half doused in blood. Okay. So it's really hard to read everything on here, but it is on official lawyer letterhead. Okay, from Block and Archer law firm. And it is on behalf of ABC Studios, which that is the studio that produces the Only Good Mutants music. However, why there's a breach of contract, you can't tell. It's blotted out by too much blood. If you were to try and figure out something like that, if you'd heard something like kind of in the news, it'd be a pop culture thing. Do you have that skill? Okay.
No, I'm gonna have to go back. Does anyone in the group have pop culture, or I can go back and talk to one of our folks back at the station? Okay. What time did you say it was? We're still bright and early. Sun's not even up yet.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like 3 in the morning. I'm probably closer to 4 at this point, but yeah.
Well, if it's alright with everyone else, I'm gonna go split off so I can be at probably Block and Archer first thing in the morning, as soon as the doors open.
Before you do that, you said I was handed a business card by, was it a reporter at the start?
hmm
So I want to flip that over to take a look at it. What's on that, just in case this is something that we're going to want the book to look into while he's doing some research.
Okay. Yeah, it is a business card from a reporter named Maria Rodriguez. Um, yeah. It seems official.
Okay, is this someone I recognize? Would this be like a normal police beat reporter?
I'm going to give this one to you without any sort of popular culture sort of thing. Because, so she is a reporter that writes about specific things that you guys might know about. Um, she seems to write a lot about mutant things, okay? Mutant cases that may pop up here and there. She seems to be in the middle, or her name is attached to a lot of stories that might happen in her beat. You just kind of figure that her beat is in the mutant part of the city called the Nests, or the Bureau. Sorry, not the Bureau, the Barrio, where most of the mutants live.
Okay, yeah, I'll pass that off to the book in case he wants to give her a ring while he's collecting information out and about. Um,
Okay,
how do we use our mutant powers?
just tell me. Especially if they're
Okay,
your investigator, if they're the investigative powers, you just turn those on and off. There's no expenditure. They're just always going.
cool. I would like to use my olfactory center to try to get like a trace on who's been in this room so that if I'm around them in the future, I'd be able to recognize them.
100%. Yep, you got it. The biggest part of the one on there is going to be there's two different kinds of cigarettes there, and those are the most overpowering smells that you've got. Okay, so one person, lots of smoking for Ursine brand cigarettes. and then one person smoked cloves, and there's just one butt of that in the room.
Just out of curiosity, do any of those have like lipstick on them?
No. Yep, good question. No, it's a good question. I am going to it. So because this is our first time using the system, do you want me to give you guys help in any areas that seem like, just because we're not familiar with the skills, seem to be might be here are things that are obvious or something that I need to write better about? Or do you just want to go on without any other clues that might be in the room? Because I think it's interesting too, is like you already have a couple different leads and you don't have to get everything. I'm going to tell you right now, I have written about 18 different scenes to this adventure. You can solve it in like 5. Okay. So far, no one's even come close to that. The other group is on like 12 or 13 right now. I think they're going to hit all of them, is what I think's going to happen. But
For this one right here, just to start, can you just give us a clue, like what skill we might use,
yeah,
and then figure out,
Yeah.
as for
yeah,
Because
example?
I mean, I think it'd be a good test for yours or like your whole writing to see if we miss certain ones, if you can still do it. So I don't want to like
right.
be given things, but
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
I think I just
For
don't
this,
know the system well enough to
yeah, for this
know what I'm looking for.
first, yeah, for this first scene, I'll give
Mhm.
you all of them except for one, because this is such an outlier one that I threw out there that if someone's super into trying different things, I'd make it work. Um, so I told you there was a bullet casing that was found outside the hallway. Does anyone have
Mhm.
ballistics?
I do.
Okay,
I didn't even think
so
about that when you told me I got a bullet casing.
yeah, yep. So yeah, bullet casing gets you. Did I bump this? I did. Okay. Um, there it is. So using ballistics shows that a bullet was fired from a 22. Okay, a very small portable gun from someone standing about 6 feet tall, uh, standing near the doorway to the hotel room.
So one question I had: there's a lot of blood in different places. Questioning whether it was from different sources. What skill would that fall under?
Okay. There is forensic. Oh, let me pull up the sheet. Is it forensic anthropology?
Hmm.
I think is that one.
Also me.
Or
I have that
yeah,
too.
okay.
Okay.
So that one helps you piece together what a crime scene might look um, like for what kind of possibly happened. Okay. So the kind of piecing it together, and you're like, wait, this, no, these are the the two blood spots are separate. Like now, there's been a lot of traffic in between the elevator in that room, so a lot of it's getting mixed together, right? But
Mhm.
you're like, no, there's two people bled badly here. One outside of the apartment room, one by the in or by the jacuzzi.
And with
So
the footprints leading to and from the elevator, do we think the person who bled badly then exited via the elevator?
Well, unfortunately, all that evidence was completely destroyed
Okay.
by the previous cops. And then,
so we have the bodyguard got injured, right? So that could account for one of the blood, and then we have the guy who's dead. So that would make sense for those to be the two people whose blood we see. Yes.
And you guys have got everything at this point.
Ask a question now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We can move on because obviously there's nothing to find. But like energy residue analysis, like if I wanted to try to detect like whose power or like what kind of power was in there, is that what that would do?
Yeah, 100%. If you have an area or a space that you feel like was affected by a superpower, you can go in there like, okay, hey, so it looks like there was a blast power used here. What kind of blast power was it? And I'd
Okay.
be like, oh yeah, it was sonic or heat or lightning or whatever, right? You can identify that sort of stuff if there's some there. But just like looking around, you're not, everything looks fine here. I mean, for what it is, right?
Okay.
And this was the only suite on this floor?
Private suite.
Okay. Like no other doors go off this hallway at all. Just the one.
Yep.
Before we move on, can we go down a floor and can we door knock and see if anybody was in the room directly underneath this room?
Sure.
I like to do that.
Okay. You go down there, and you see these people like getting their bags out, and they're just pissed. Like they see you coming up, and they're trying to avoid you. Now you guys have badges, okay, so you can
I'll
move
flash it.
around. Okay. And they're just like, what?
Sorry to bother you. Have you already given your statement to
What?
the force?
Would you turn that down? I can't hear a goddamn all night. That sound that's been insane. Turn off the music. That's who you should be arresting, for God's sakes.
You didn't hear anything else last night, just the music.
What? Are you kidding me? That's all I can hear. Can't you hear it? And you're like, oh yeah, it's pretty loud, even from the floor down.
I'll take names anyway if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Okay.
All right. You go down the elevator, which is again just covered in blood. And you're like, this is not great. And you realize that it's like, oh yeah, there's like tire tracks in here because there's been at least one body bag and then one stretcher for the bodyguard, right, who was probably bleeding out at the time that it was taken out. You get onto the main floor, and Trent Doolittle is down there waiting for you guys as the elevator opens up. He's like you're gonna okay. Are you done? Are you guys gonna clean this up now? I got people
That's
coming
somebody
in
else's department.
here. What? Are you just gonna walk away from him?
I'm gonna give him a number for a cleaning crew. But you can't touch anything until this is still an active crime scene. We'll let you know when you can actively clean this mess. But in the meantime, to do so before that would be it will be an offense, and you will be charged.
What about this? You can see there's a little bit of blood coming out of the elevator, like just like a little streak.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my sunglasses off
Okay.
and just give him my dead wide eye stare, and I'll say, "We'll get to it when we can."
Okay. All right. Yep. They said there'd be days like this. Okay. And Trent goes back to try and get ready for the big wigs that'll eventually be coming later in the week. All right. Where do you want to go? You guys have several leads to check on. I know Grabowski was looking to go to Block and Archer. What do other people want to do? You know, and I'll probably tell you this right now. If you have a little bit of law, and I don't know if you do, is that Block and Archer are not going to talk to you. Okay. They can't, right? So unless you've got something that you're either charging, you can call and talk to them. Okay.
No, that's
What?
fair. I appreciate that, and I do have law. So in that case, I'll be there. I guess I don't have to wait until business hours. I'll go look up who is the primary for ABC or the music company, and I'm gonna just go start talking to them.
Okay. Yeah, ABC Records is in the city. So absolutely. You can talk to them. That sounds good. So that is what Grabowski is going to be doing. Anyone else?
I would take all my evidence back to analyze.
Okay. You're just gonna go back to the station. Now, back at the station, that's also where the morgue is at.
Sure. And I would
I want to go to the
do that
morgue.
all. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we know if the
So I'll go
bodyguard has
drop
been?
off things for analysis and then go to the morgue with Brickhouse. Is that his name?
Okay.
Sorry,
Do
Jordan.
we know if the bodyguard has been stabilized? Like, has anyone been able to get a disposition from him, or is he
He
like
was
in a
taken
coma?
to the hospital, but otherwise you don't know.
Okay. I would
I will
like
tell you
to.
that the name Al Manzoor sounds familiar for some reason, but you can't put your finger on it.
Okay. I'll go back to the station with them as well, and I will check in with the beat cops who took the initial, see if we have anything listed for the bodyguard as far as what hospital he was taken to, if anyone has managed to talk to him, anything like that.
You can get that information automatically. So if you just want to go to the
Oh,
hospital, you
awesome.
can.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Is there also there's somebody in custody or like not like they're claiming self-defense, but there's also somebody to interrogate ultimately?
If you want to try and talk to Wilson,
I am not going to do that. That is not my skill area. I just wanted to be like, is that another thing at the station?
if you want to talk to Goose Wilson, you can try and get a hold of him, but there's lawyers involved now,
Right.
which actually
He's
which is something that I probably should have said that lawyer thing was fine to go talk to because you'd get a little bit from that, but we can infer it. There's a lot more interesting things to do, I think. What were we gonna say? Brickhouse?
uh, Wilson's not in custody though. He's not being held for anything right now. He's not been charged with anything.
No, self-defense. Like he
Okay.
is. Well, you got to talk to some lawyers or talk to the sergeant or to find out more on that situation exactly what where you and the Goose Wilson stand right now.
Sure. I would probably then focus on that.
About trying to get to Goose. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go in reverse. Or well, I don't think it really matters. Let's see how you were. All right, Stanton. Where were you going?
The hospital to check on the bodyguard.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that scene first. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You guys are already hitting one scene that hasn't been done yet, and one scene that, for whatever reason, the other groups don't get to it till way later, even though it's designed to be like the first thing you guys do. So going to the hospital is a good move. I want people to go there.
Uh,
Like I don't know, like people like,
we're
oh,
going to
that
solve
guy's
this in
bleeding
5
out.
scenes, you guys.
Yeah, like it seems obvious to me. But okay, good. I'm glad it's not that crazy. Okay. Let's see. Now you're gonna go to the hospital. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Oh, for crying out loud. There it is. All right, you get to the hospital, and they let you in. You show your badge. They let you in to go through. And you get to Rashik Al Manzoor's room. He lies in a nest of wires and in an oxygen mask. The steady beep of monitors and drip of saline crowds the room. Al Manzoor struggles to speak clearly, and it's a testament to his strength that he's even awake and talking already. There's a teenage boy that's asleep in a chair next to the bed. Al Manzoor responds to your opening salvo of questions like this. Yeah, I was was posted outside the room for Goose Wilson. He had just invited a young woman inside for after hours for a private party. Oh, and he turns up the music like he does whenever he has company over. Oh, and a little bit later at that point, a man uh, came up from the elevator and he was acting real weird. Like he got real irate, pulled a gun when I told him he wasn't allowed to see Wilson. I attempted to wrestle the firearm away from him when it discharged. At that point, the man took flight and ran back to the elevator. The only thing I could remember before I passed out, the man was wearing a Vote for Teal sticker. I do remember it was at that point Wilson came out of the room and he was covered in blood. Then at that point, that's when I passed out.
Okay. And from looking at it, it looks like he's been shot once or twice. Does it look kind of like gun wounds? Can I tell at all?
Shot once in his chest, and he's doing really well, actually.
Does he have
All
any
right.
like visual cues of being a mutant himself? Anything I can see?
Nothing you can see, but he's also under a lot of wrapping and wires. You can't. You're not 100% sure. But from what the Flatfoots talked about, this is probably the mutant that was involved with the case.
Yeah, I figured. I'll take my hat off so he can see that I'm visibly a mutant, and I'll just straight up ask him what's going on with him.
Well, look, I told you everything that I know. Um, I just working for this asshole.
Has there been
You can
any?
tell. You can tell
Uh-huh.
after he swore, he like kind of puts his hand as like, oh, but he looks over at the teenage boy in the chair to make sure he doesn't wake up.
Yeah. Has there been any threats or anything against Goose Wilson that you're aware of leading into this?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. Uh, that's why he's had to hire me for the past year or so. He's not real popular because of his lyrics. Uh, so he finds it real funny that I'm his bodyguard. But yeah, he gets death threats probably weekly.
And what exactly is your power?
You don't recognize me? You don't know who I am?
The name rings a bell, but I don't have every mutant in town memorized, bud.
Ah, shit. I'm getting old. I'm the savior. Yeah? No? All right.
That
Well,
must be before my time.
huh. Well, when things went sour in Chicago, I couldn't I couldn't really get a job anymore. So I became a bodyguard. Ugh, bodyguard to the stars. Maybe you saw me. I was on Dateline. They did a whole thing piece. No? Okay. Uh, yeah, so then I became a bodyguard to the stars, and I think Goose thought it would be hilarious to have a pet like me on the leash. Uh, After he says that savior, you're like, wait a minute. Now I'm gonna give this one to you. I know you don't have pop culture, and I know pop culture has come up quite a few times this adventure. This is really the only couple times, but it is big because it's music, right? Pop culture. Um, the savior, he tried to start his own cult, and it didn't really end well. No one died. There was a police standoff, but he ended up giving himself up peaceably. His favorite trick was to get crucified and then, be fine from it.
Cool. So I assume he has healing. Would I know? Have I seen any police reports on him? I assume they would have run a test on someone like this if they pulled him in. What his powers would be?
But he is not on your local registry. Because we're new at this game, I will throw this out here. Do you have anamorphology?
Nope.
Okay.
Not there.
What I will throw this one out there though. I I hate not giving this clue out because if you had pop culture or anamorphology, um,
Well, it's a quick question, quick pause on things.
yes.
Are you saying that we can just sort of call each other? That he would know he could just call and be like, "Hey, you have anamorphology. What's this mean to you?" Is that something crosstalk you'd like us to have?
You can have walkie-talkies, right? That's fine. It's the 90s though. You just have cell phones. You just call each other.
Pagers.
But that's not how
Pagers.
anamorphology would work. She needs to study him for a little bit to really figure out what's going on there. Now, at the same time, you can also just grab his hospital files if you want to,
Got
which
it.
that's totally an option. So yeah, I won't give this to you. I will just. There are lots of options if you want to learn more.
Yeah.
But
While I'm in the room,
I do.
like,
Go ahead.
no, finish off.
I was gonna say, since I do have anamorphology, can you tell me more? What does that mean?
that is the study of superpowers, right? So as
That's what
long
I
as you
thought.
have, yeah, as long as you have the ability to study someone for a little bit, you can kind of gauge whether they're a mutant or not, right? It's not always it's not 100% accurate, but if you know that they're a mutant, then you can kind of guess powers or how powers work. Is the biggest thing is how powers work.
Got it. Using my olfactory center, I expect that I would recognize like the scent of the bodyguard from being in the room. Does
Yes.
the kid smell like him, or does the kid smell like he was possibly up there as well?
Uh, Kid was not up there.
Okay, cool. And does he smell like either of the cigarettes?
No.
Okay. I'll ask him. Is Wilson typically a heavy smoker?
Yeah. It's his favorite thing to do is to send me on smoke runs.
Usual brand he has you by?
Yeah, he's fucking Ursine, so he can hunt the bear, whatever the hell that means.
And can you tell me anything about the female visitor he had? Brief description or anything? Name?
No, not really. Short, cute, gave me a little funny feeling, but look, it's none of my business what he does. He after every show, mu- the, the music goes on, and I just make sure no one bothers him.
Yeah. Yeah. Was she also smoking when she came up?
I don't really remember.
Got it. Okay. Uh, yeah, I think I would like to go down and see if I couldn't get his file. Like, is that something like the hospital staff would give me, considering he is implicated in a crime? Could I pull his
I
hospital
don't
file?
know. What skills do you want to use?
Let's see.
Maybe.
Would I- Could I use bureaucracy to get with like the nurse desk and kind of talk him into giving this over?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, you cut through that red tape. You want to tell me how you do it?
Yeah, I'd just kind of like to go over and just start chatting with the nurses, kind of talk about, the odd hours, how this must be the end of a long and demanding shift, and just kind of start schmoozing up to them a little bit. And then I'll just flash my badge and let them know that they've got a pretty high profile patient there, and kind of just stroke their egos a little bit on the job they're doing with this guy, and then I'm just gonna slowly, move into, hey, as part of this high profile case here, we are going to need to get access to his medical files, as we're going to have to run all the blood at the crime scene.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I mean, it's just worse. Like we're the only hospital that takes heightened people in the city. So like it's nice to get the state funding to be able to do that, but we're not equipped with all this stuff. And I mean, yeah, if we can help this poor bastard out, sure. She just kind of scrambles around. She hands over some paperwork for you. A lot of it to you is Greek, but you're pretty sure someone else that might know what's going on.
Cool.
Okay,
Then yeah, once I have all that, I think I'd like to head back to the station just to kind of regroup with everyone else, share what I've found.
perfect. Okay, great. Brickhouse, you were going where? To the morgue, right? No.
No, I was going to talk to Wilson, or try
You were
to.
you were gonna try to talk to Wilson. Okay, we want to save that one. Then let's go to the morgue. Because I know someone was going to the morgue.
I think he originally said he was going to. I was gonna like drop off anything that needs to be analyzed by somebody else. I could go to the morgue unless I need to be the one to analyze the stuff.
You don't. You don't. You can drop it off to someone else. You know that there is another the person who used to work in cold case, Lois is really good at running that sort of stuff, so she can help you out and run that for you. And I'm going to give this information now before I forget. So to get the fingerprinting information back, right? And that is there are 3 people that are identified that were in the room. A fourth set of fingerprints are not recognized, which is kind of unusual, right? But that just means they're not in your system. That's all. You get uh, Goose Wilson, Rashik Al Manzoor, and there's a hit on someone named Vanessa Poole.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Um. Okay.
And so then now you get the fingerprint back. Where did you want to go?
Was there any clues to be? I mean, it takes a little longer for like DNA on any of the blood, things like that. Because I had been taking samples of like, so I
Sure, but I
assumed
can
DNA would take longer.
sure, but I can run that for you. That's fine. Yeah, the blood is from Al Manzoor and Vanessa Poole.
Okay. Oh, then I will head for the morgue.
All right, here we go. This is one of my favorite scenes, only because the person I'm about to introduce you to um, exists. Are you ready? Mostly exists, I should say.
Yes.
Okay. Where's the morgue? There's the morgue. Joe Anders. Her eyes sparkle with mischief and warmth. The medical examiner is a short woman with steel gray hair. She keeps it shorn tight to keep it out of the way, except for a single rat tail that's braided down to her waist. The snap of bubblegum emphasizes her talking points. Uh, Anders, once she recognizes, she pulls you over and she pulls the sheet off the victim and informs you that, hey, so okay, hey, the attacker was Vanessa Poole, as identified by this. She points at the woman's ankle. It's a stylized rose tattoo. Okay. The victim died from knife wounds around approximately 11 p.m. Blood analysis shows that she was not a smoker, and the tox screen is clean for any sort of substances.
Wait, you said 11 o'clock?
11 p.m.
Yeah. Did anyone write down when it was that there were first alerts about problems?
No.
I'll make this easy for you. So a phone call was from lawyers to the station around, I don't know, 1 a.m.
Hmm.
Somewhere between, like, well, maybe closer to 12, maybe closer to midnight, actually. Let's just say midnight.
The phone call was around midnight.
Hmm.
So we have an hour between when he stabbed her at 11 and the lawyers called for support. So something happened in the middle there.
Is she a mutant? Can I use my anamorphology to detect this, even though she's dead?
Uh, oh yeah, yep. No, she's a mutant. Absolutely, she's a or heightened. You know that. I do have forensic anthropology. Or sorry, not that. Criminology.
Yes, I do. I have all
Okay.
the things for this or this scenario, and probably none for the next scenario.
Yeah, I won't make you do interviews with people. How about that? All right, so you're with the criminology, you're like so that means the what you know of like the underworld, the crime scene in the area, right?
Mhm.
Vanessa Poole, that name sounds familiar. She was actually connected to a series of murders for the Esching criminal family, but she was never convicted due to lack of evidence. Um, should Poole went by the alias of Deadly Rose. She was known as an assassin for hire. She uses her latent ability of sexual chemistry to lure targets into secluded locations and then strangle them.
Wow, that's a lot of information.
Yeah, that's the part that's gonna stink is like taking multiple weeks in between sessions. Like,
All right.
yeah,
Marathon. We're doing it all tonight.
awesome.
What was her code name again? The Rose what?
Deadly Rose.
Deadly
Deadly Rose.
Rose.
Thank you.
And she's on the list, the mutant
Registry.
mutant registry that we have. We're getting good data here, good info.
Um,
Is there anything else you want to check out? There's not a whole bunch more here.
this is maybe a weird one, but can I get like a? Even though we know who killed her in theory, right? He's just saying it was
Mhm.
self-defense. But can I still get like a model of like how big the knife is and like the shape the knife is and things like that? Knife wound.
You're gonna need forensic anthropology for that.
I have that.
Oh, well, never mind then.
I said I
Yeah,
have everything I need for
you
this
do.
scenario.
Okay, yeah, you do. Okay. Uh, big knife, big knife. And whoever stabbed her really knew what they were doing. The wounds are very precise.
Interesting.
Consistent. Well, you wouldn't know this. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah. There really isn't any other information left on here, so we'll go see. All right, perfect. All right, you were trying to look at Wilson and Grabowski. Where were you going?
I was gonna contact the ABC folks, learn more about
Okay.
whatever this threat was.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do Goose. No, let's do ABC because Goose Wilson is a treat. Okay. All right. So let's go to ABC. Yes, you can get in right away in the morning. Um, the representation for the Only Good Mutant is Shanti Rochelle. She's willing to see you right away in the morning. She's got bags in her eyes like she's been up all night. She sits behind a black marble desktop with a singular platinum record hung behind her. She wears a sleeveless black turtleneck and 3-inch heels to boost her small stature. Her attitude is cooperative but mildly annoyed. Every couple of minutes, she sends a new phone call straight to message. A banner hangs in her office declaring, "The Only Good Mutant, one night only at Montreal Hotel, sponsored by Learning Tree." Rochelle isn't one to debate social change or only the bottom line. And she gives you this kind of patter. It doesn't sound like that it's rehearsed or anything, but maybe that she was expecting to talk to some police tonight, or this morning, I should say. And rightfully so, she gives you this information. It's like, yeah, all right. So Goose Wilson, look, he may be extremely difficult to work with, but the Only Good Mutant is good for my pocketbook. Um, Look, everyone knows that he did that thing with Cassio Quinn's wife last year and wrote one of their hit songs about it. Look, I also know that he always invites groupies up to the room after shows, but that's his own business. Now, hey, this is what I know. I received a phone call from weirdly calm Goose Wilson after he was attacked. Uh, I told him to call the police, and then I called our lawyers. Our lawyers advised that they would take care of calling the police. Any other questions? Might need to go to them, or that, but that's all I really know.
All right. Bullshit sniffer. Anything interesting going on here?
She's only up and up. As far as you can tell, like, yeah, she got a phone call from Goose. She calls the lawyers, and the lawyers take care of everything else.
Forensic psychology. I'm not sure how to ask this. Sort of follow up on that unexpected calmness of Goose's. Maybe so. Tell me more about Goose. Is he, given his music, he doesn't seem like the sort who'd be calm after knifing a crime boss, assassin to death. Does he normally become calm during high stress events?
Wait, who? What happened?
Does she actually seem surprised?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Oh, never mind. Disregard that. I'll follow up on that in a few minutes then. Um, so tell me more about Cassio Quinn's wife. Was this the letter? I'll pull the letter out, which I put in a Ziploc baggie. The bloody note. Push that across to her. Please help me understand how I should interpret this, and not just go to the court to get all of your records and your contracts and make them a matter of public record.
Okay. So in the game, you're unlocking a new skill that you can use. If you use a clue on someone else, it's called leveraging a clue, which is like getting a super clue. Okay. So if you found the breach of contract from the crime scene, Rochelle explains that Wilson is threatening to sign with another label. It would be absolutely disastrous for ABC Records since Wilson owns all of the songs that he wrote prior to joining the Only Good Mutant, including 4 of their top 5 hits. Now, if Wilson were to die, ownership of those songs would transfer to the other band members since he does not have any family. So, yeah, the breach of contract is that he's trying to sign with another, or threatening at least to sign with another record company, which he still owes ABC one more record or one more album.
Oh, there's a lot to absorb right there. Um, use my forensic accounting knowledge, and maybe I'll just ask this to look at that contract. I want to use, I don't know if it would be like document analysis, maybe that's the actual physical paper, but to like look at the contract itself. If I agree, you know what, I won't ask for a copy of it. I won't enter this in the record if you let me look at it today. I just want to review it. I'll review it right here. I'll let you turn the pages if you want to turn the pages. I won't take any pictures. I'd just like to read the contract to better understand it.
Well, I can't really show you the contract. That's under law. However, yeah, look, our books are open. You can take a look at those. And she actually just checks her computer and just turns it your direction. Using your forensic accounting, you see that the records show that ABC makes regular payments to Squeaky Clean Sanitation cleaning service. Uh, the payments line up roughly with the concert dates of the Only Good Mutant. Um, when you ask Rochelle about it, she just kind of chuckles a little bit. She's like, "Yeah, the boys tend to leave a mess wherever they go."
Yeah, and see if I can get a is there a contact person I could talk to from those folks?
For Squeaky Clean, Rochelle's just like, "Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of, I don't know. I signed a contract with them. I don't know, about a year or two ago. They have an office here in town. They're in most major cities."
Um, all right. I can't think of anything else I have a skill for here. Nope, I'm done with skills that might apply here.
Okay, great. Hey, I've never done that scene before, so that was fun. Thank you. Like, no one's talked. Why haven't they talked to her? I don't know. Okay. All right. So now let's get to talking to Goose Wilson. This is always fun. Um, and you guys decide whether, well, Brickhouse, you're going to decide. All right. So Goose Wilson agrees to answer questions, but only on two conditions. And you're not talking to Goose Wilson right now. Okay.
Yeah.
You are the station was given the contact information in its Archer or Block and Archer law services. Okay. The two conditions. The first is meeting with him in the comfort of a new paid for suite across town. So you have to go to him to be able to interview him. The second one is that his team of lawyers hired by ABC Records will be present. If those two things are met, he's happy to talk with you.
Okay,
You gonna
I'll
do it?
go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want to wait for anyone else or just head on in?
That's the thing. Like, I've taken tremendous notes on everybody else's personal conversations, but I'm assuming that we're like talking to each other after it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
or like we meet at the station. So, and honestly, and for a mechanics version of this, it would obviously make the most sense if all four of us go to every place. We have every skill that we need. But it makes more sense if we all do our own thing and don't have to rely on that. You know what I mean? So, like, I can see both ways where it makes sense. So, I'm just going to say that I've been given the notes of my peers, and I'm just going in on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Hey, the new suite that he's put up in is even more opulent than last. Wilson has decorated it with several paintings from the Impressionist era. Wilson wears a tank top, aggressively proclaiming swear words. His mop of black hair and flip flops looks for all the world like a tourist on vacation instead of a rock star. The room reeks of cigarette smoke that Wilson repeatedly blows into the face of his hired attorneys, much to their annoyance. All right. Here's the facts. All right. And he nudges his Coke bottle thick glasses with his finger. Look, I invited this bird into my room. We was getting in the jacuzzi, getting ready, and all of a sudden she begins strangling me from behind. At that point, he pulls his tank top off to the side. You see shows abrasions around his neck that are consistent with being strangled. The attacker was distracted by the sound of a gunshot, which then was able to reach for my hunting knife. I called for my bodyguard. and then I defended myself. You know what? And it's really just it's a real shame that a mutant had to die that night. Afterwards, as soon as he finishes that last line, a lawyer puts a hand in front of Wilson, just like advises him not to say anything else. And they say, if you want any more answers, you're gonna have to charge Wilson with something.
I think it's quite possible the DA is going to charge you with at least man one, possible murder two. Obviously, you can't just tell us it's self-defense and then it's over. And it's my job to decide what information I take to the DA, decide what's charged. So if I could ask a few questions and get some answers, uh, hopefully no charges have to be filed at all. Charming a little bit right now. And a little intimidation, a little bit of both.
You would go for that? All right. So the lawyers are dead eyeing you. One is a very large man wearing a pinstripe suit in black leather punching gloves, almost bald completely. While his partner is a diminutive woman with kind of brown mousy hair, and they kind of sit on either side of Goose Wilson. The man starts to talk, and the woman just kind of just like, "Hear him, allow me." So, while you may threaten and cajole, uh, it is up to you, the prosecutor, at this point in time. If you wish to charge anything, you may. There is no, uh, our client has not been charged of anything. It is up to you to come up with any proof of evidence of any wrongdoing. Now, we are more than happy to stay in the city for one more week, and if he is not charged by the end of the week, our client walks. Now, at this point, you've got some choices. Like you tried the intimidation, tried the charm, and we'll get to that part in just a second. Um, Now, if you want to charge him with something, you can, right? But you only get him for 24 hours, and you can't charge him for the same thing again, no double jeopardy. But you can continue investigations later on. So you can get him down to the station if you want to. All right. Um, Otherwise, do you have law?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what you can do. They're right. Okay. They're right. You can't really do anything unless you charge him. And even then, you get him for 24 hours and it might be harassment or not. It might be fine. Who knows? But you need to have proof to be able to really charge him with anything. You've got him at the scene. Something weird happened. So that's why he is kind of in this week long waiting for proof to get gathered. All right. However, the diminutive lawyer, she sits there, she's like, okay, you know what? We like you. We want to work with the police officers. We've worked with you in the past. Um, I've been on retainer for your station for many years, and I'd like to continue that relationship. This is just one that I cannot. Maybe I can act just as a liaison between my client and courts. I can give you 3 more well vetted. So by going through this, you can have 3 yes or no questions. 3 more if you wish.
Just 3 questions?
Hmm But
I'm
by
just
that
kidding.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So, uh, so think about what you want to ask, and if you want to call the team in on this, that's fine. Or use any other of your skills while you're thinking about it. Please do so.
Uh, non-question,
Hmm
but I want to, as they're talking, do I smell any clove cigarettes, the smell of cloves on anybody here?
Not that you notice, no.
No, just the smokes? Okay.
Mm.
Um, okay. Um, Was the knife given in evidence? And if not, can I see it now?
The smaller woman looks over at Hiram and nods. Hiram goes like, "Oh, yes, you seem to have forgotten this." And he hands over a bag that's already been ziplocked and everything. It's a big ass hunting knife covered in blood.
Great. I'd like to take that, sucker.
Awesome question, by the way. Nice work. Do we think we know who it was that was smoking the clove cigarette? If he's the Ursine guy, do we know who that was?
Exactly. But I'm not going to let them know that I know that. Can you tell me the whereabouts of the other band members at the time of the incident?
No, I don't rightly know. Don't forget, you probably have bullshit detection.
Bullshit detector. Yeah.
No, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. Okay.
You're pretty sure he's on the up and up. He has no idea. And you also get the further idea he could give an F about it.
You were getting ready to. So you were getting ready to get into the jacuzzi, and I'm assuming that things were going to get very intimate between you and Miss Pole. Is that correct? Pole. Were you dressed unmodestly at the time?
Hey, well, first of all, I didn't know that mutants like you even had names. But, I mean, I was hoping. I was down to my skivvies.
And did you have your knife on you then when you're in your skivvies, or did you have to like go for the knife at some point?
No, it was on my pants next to the jacuzzi.
So you had to go over, grab the knife, and then you were able to defend yourself.
Yeah, the gunshot goes off, and and at that point, Hiram puts his hand in front of. It's like, just yes or no. Answer the question and be done.
Yeah. And did you put your glasses on before or after you grabbed the knife?
Oh, I always have them on.
You had them on in the jacuzzi as well. Great.
Well, we had gotten in the jacuzzi. Well, no. I was getting the jacuzzi
So
ready.
you weren't in the jacuzzi yet.
No.
And you were in your skivvies, but with your glasses on.
Yes.
She tried to strangle you, and then you went for the knife.
Yes.
Bullshit detector?
You sense that there might be a little bit of confusion, but he is not trying to hide anything from you.
Okay.
And Hiram then speaks like, I believe that's our time at this point. If you wish any more questions, please charge our client. I can help see you out.
And as I get up, I'll just say, we want to find out what happened. If we can find anything that can clear your client's name, we're going to do that.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. As he's just like kind of guiding you out. On your way out, do you want to try and pull any last skills at the last chance or anything?
Yeesh. Yeah, I want to do an anamorphology to see if either of the lawyers are mutant.
Yeah, they both are.
Mm-hmm. Pretty weird. And is Goose?
So with the two lawyers, they're very obviously, because the big man moves far too easily for a man of that weight. He's incredibly nimble on his feet, incredibly nimble. And the woman, you just kind of caught every once in a while, levitates sometimes.
Okay.
So, that's a thing that happens out of the corner of your eye. But you're not
Subtle
really,
shit.
yeah, you're not really getting anything from Goose though.
Okay.
But you also notice he is just like making their lives a living hell.
And for the most part, I don't consider Goose to be a criminal mastermind after that conversation.
Do you have forensic psychology?
No,
Okay.
just bullshit. Okay.
Should we all get together for a good 10 a.m. hot dog and coffee and talk about the case real quick?
Yep. At
Nice.
noon, you're always required to go back to check in with a sergeant. All right. So it is 9:30 at this point. Um, let's get together, talk about our different theories, and then tell me what you want to do. Um, yeah.
Who wants to start?
There's a lot going on.
I'll throw a few things out there. I've got sort of two categories of things we're talking about. I think there's what happened that night, and then there's who's involved and what their motives might be. Those are two big areas I'm seeing. Are there other big areas anyone would like to just sort of put out there before we start talking about either one of them?
Who's smoking the clove? I think that's a literal smoking gun, almost literal smoking thing. It's not a literal smoking gun. Right? Like somebody else is in the room that's not been accounted for yet. And do we have any forensic evidence that says there was anybody else in that room? You're muted, Rachel. Come on, Pulsfut.
Here I am. Um, at the morgue, she said she doesn't. I don't. Rachel does not know how cloves are related to cigarettes. Rachel knows nothing about what smoking cloves means. Is that a brand of cigarette? Is that like you're smoking a particular like the spice cloves? Like I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
So
I've
like
never done drugs. So
in
Jared can tell us.
the autopsy when it said she doesn't smoke, would that have come up?
There would still be damage to their lungs
Okay.
to indicate smoking of any sort. At least cigarette
Okay.
smoking.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't like I should have asked about that with the
Yep.
toxicity thing
Nope. Good
because I was
question.
like, I don't-
I've had to do a ton of research on this crazy, weird edge cases like that too. No, thank you for asking that because it makes me feel worthwhile that I did stuff.
yeah, it's
So a
fancy.
clove is a kind of cigarette, but it's not. It's very different though. Like it's still legal. It's not like a drug,
Right.
but it's a very specific kind. It literally smells like cloves you're thinking of. Like it has a different smell to it, a whole different look to it.
That's what I
It's
figured.
yeah.
That's what I thought, but I was just like, did I miss something by not asking about if that came up on the talk screen?
Mhm.
No, but if
You're
she
right.
didn't smoke and he only smokes
Science.
bear cigarettes, then somebody was smoking a clove in there, but we don't know who, right?
There's
So
also
you
still
talk-
this random person with the gun.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
There's also still the random person with the gun. Oh yes, people involved and what actually happened. Those are
Which
the things we need to figure out. You're right, Aaron.
random person with a gun could be the clove smoker too. We don't know.
And it happened at the same. She tried to kill him at the same time. This guy came up and had the altercation with the bodyguard. So we better find out who that is. And maybe were the assassin and that guy related? Was it just random luck? Yeah, that's a big question mark for me. Yeah.
So that I can drop in. So Stanton comes back with that file from the hospital. Okay, take a look at it. You share it with Night Nurse, who's got the forensics to take a look at it, and she's like, then cross-checking it with anamorphology, and you're like, he should have walked out of that hospital hours ago.
Mm.
His healing power is pretty amazing. A single shot from a gun, he should have been out of there a long time ago. Like fully healed.
Are
So
you
he's faking it?
confident? Well, I was just gonna ask Jordan, Ron, Stanton,
No.
like, how confident are you that the wounds were real?
I mean, they looked fairly real, but I didn't take off any bandages or anything. Does it say anything? Does he have like enhanced coagulation? Would it account for all the blood that's there? Is this something where, there's like too much blood at the scene for what damage he took if he has incredible healing powers?
No, he got shot. If he was a regular person, he'd be dead. Okay.
Okay.
But his
Maybe.
power in how advanced it is, he should have healed by now for sure. Like he would do that crucifixion thing, and he'd be back on his feet the next day.
So
I
somebody
want
shot
some
him
more
with a
tests on this bullet.
yeah, it was like a kryptonite bullet, if you pardon the
Yeah.
horrible implications to fellow mutants, but right, something like that.
Yeah, you'd already did the ballistics on it, and it's a regular 22 shell.
We have the shell. Do we have the bullet?
Oh, gotcha. We have the shell.
They fished it out of him.
Is it at the hospital?
You can request it, but it's going to be a regular bullet.
Okay, so the bullet's not the problem.
It's possible he's afraid to leave the hospital.
Or it's possible he hates his employer and he took a dive hoping someone would kill him.
Now, also, the way that it works is that he can't turn off the power either.
Also, why would a mutant law firm want to protect like a huge mutant hater? Like both his lawyers are definitely mutants. What's going on there? Anybody have thoughts?
I mean, a lot of our coworkers hate us, yet we still do our job.
Yeah, but I don't know. He has a mutant bodyguard. His lawyers are mutants. Like, what's the agenda?
Now, AB
Maybe.
and Zika are the people who hired the lawyers, right?
I guess, and they're going to do it for whatever, but I think it's odd.
I want to do.
I was gonna say, he said earlier that he thought it was kind of a funny joke that he hired a mutant to save it, to be his bodyguard. Maybe he thinks this is he hires mutants just to kind of hang it over him.
Yeah. He just likes pissing on them.
Because he can. Yeah. I'm sorry, Rachel. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I was just going to say, I like this theory that the guy with the gun was meant to distract the bodyguard while Vanessa did her assassination. And so I think we need to look into like the Esching criminal family some more.
I would say
It
it
was
seems
like a family job.
unlikely that he was there to distract the bodyguard if Wilson was telling the truth. Because if you're expecting a gun wielding associate to come distract a bodyguard, you wouldn't be thrown off throttling your victim because you heard a gunshot. You'd be like, yeah, okay, maybe some trouble out there. Let's quick kill this guy and move on.
True. But still, better
Is there
way to
any-
throw off his trail than wear a vote for Teal button while
Yeah.
he's actually a mutant himself.
Using your ballistics, was this 22 shell, was it subsonic, or do we think it was used with a silencer of some sort?
Can I tell that?
You can tell that from ballistics. It was just wasn't a silencer.
I mean, kind of an odd choice. That's a pretty underpowered round if you're wanting to take out a bodyguard.
Especially one who's notorious for his healing powers.
Yeah, that doesn't really strike as if this is like a criminal hit. You would think they'd do a little bit of research on the target.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Maybe he was just a fan who happened to be in the was trying to get in to see his favorite performer. Just having to float a gun, but I still think we should find him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also, I seem to recall as we were walking into the building, somebody tried to get our attention and try to give us some information.
That
I
was
don't know if
Maria
we're going to be able to
Rodriguez.
find them.
She gave
What?
me that was Maria
Oh,
Rodriguez. She gave me a business card. We haven't called her yet,
I
but we
wonder.
need to.
Got it. Yes. I had the note about Maria Rodriguez's business card, and I had a note about a lady trying to get our attention. I had not made the note that they were together, the same person.
I was thinking we could double up the contact with her. It was sort of I'm guessing she'll be kind of a focal point since none of us have pop culture and she's sort of the hub of that reporting.
Yeah.
But we got this Cassio Quinn guy who might want him dead. Got a couple bandmates who might want him dead. It might be worth checking to see if any of those three people, and then Squeaky Clean Cleaning Services is probably a separate follow up. But at least those three, if not all four, we should see if any of them have ties to the crime family that just tried to kill the guy. So they, maybe check in with her about the pop culture of it, plus any of the maybe the mob ties. I don't know if any of you have skills that would help us check that. I don't know that I do. Criminology or law, maybe? I don't know.
I have Streetwise.
I
Also,
also
they
want to
have
throw out there, Cassio Quinn is a woman and also bandmate.
and has a wife. Okay.
Oh, that's one less person who might want to kill him, but now someone who wants to kill him twice as much. So, but one of the but for to pull up a mob assassin essentially, I would think that's not just going to fly out of nowhere. We should check and see if there's any known associates, kind of a thing there.
But for a band that has literally a company called Squeaky Clean, like cleaning services, who didn't come up and clean the crime scene, like, did they not get called in time? Like, why not? Like, what did they actually do? Because you'd think this would be one of the times if they really want to cover this up, they would have got those people in quick. So why not? Unless they don't do that. I don't know. That's what we
It's
need
up
to
to
talk
you
to.
guys. Do you guys want to try and each do one more scene, or do you want to call it? Because I know it is getting a little bit later. But we're going for about 2 hours.
More
I don't know.
scenes.
It's up to you.
I don't know. I feel like most scenes is going to go pretty late, but I'm fine if some people want to do their next scene.
Can we look at like 10:30?
Yeah.
Is that too late for everybody? Darling?
That's fine. Yes, that's
Okay.
fine. I didn't know if we try to start new scenes now, if that's like an 11:30 commitment, then that's a bit much. But
Yeah.
Well,
it's
I
more like
tell you what,
10:30.
if you guys get into a combat situation, we'll just end the night there. Okay.
Hmm.
It really depends on what you do at this point. Okay. Um, I am going to throw this out there as well because this is fun to do. You guys are getting the full experience. All right, so you guys come into the office. On the tab on the Excel sheet under docket, new stuff will get added every once in a while.
Where's it at?
It's under police roster. It's
Thank
just
you.
a subsection on there.
Got it.
Is the Callaway report, is that something that was sent to HCIU, or is that on the general band?
That is your guys' docket. That's specifically for the heightened crime investigation unit. So you guys are all gathered and they're getting ready to break up to do whatever you need to do. Sergeant Laura Barnes comes in. She's like, "Hey, uh, Servid called last night about some sort of peeping tom. Hey, can you guys follow up on that? She She helped us quite a bit with paying for this facility.
Yeah,
Now,
no problem, Sarge.
all
Yep,
right.
absolutely.
Now it's up to you guys how quickly you move on that, right? Not everything's going to connect for everything that pops up, most likely not. But this is you're getting the full experience here. What do you guys want to do?
Did anyone else have anything they wanted to sort of throw in the pool, or theories, or other things, other leads we might want to follow up on before we move on and start figuring out next round?
So just to go over, we want to try to find any clues on the gunman. We want to look at the cleaning service. We wanted to do a quick talk with the bandmates. We need to take a look into this Peeping Tom situation that may or may not be related. Was there anything else we had on the list?
I mean, it's related to the gunman, but the Esching family, the
Or it might
one of that
not be.
necessarily.
I'll put that as a separate thing. Could tie
Yeah,
into
that
a
seems
lot
like something someone could just check on, but I'm not sure what is there a particular skill that would that be
Research.
criminology or law? Oh, what was that one?
There's research. I have criminology. I'd be happy to use that to look
I
into
have
that
research,
family.
and I could try to pull up anything on that.
Streetwise.
Yeah, that could also work.
You guys are just trying to figure out information about the Esching family.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
any of the
Mhm.
people
Okay.
we've mentioned have any known ties to the Esching family.
Can we,
Okay.
quick, while we're at the station, like combine those skills, see what we can dig up?
Yeah, I can give you something real quick. Because he used criminology and some other things, he is kind of combine all that stuff. The Esching family, this is about 10 years ago. There was uh, a gangland war for the control, basically, of the Tri-City state. The Esching family ended up on top, mostly due to the alleged help of Vanessa Poole to take out the other heads of the rival heads. But there was never enough evidence to charge anyone with anything. There was just a series of accidents that happened, and all of a sudden the Eschings were the fairly well known criminal organization. The Robert Esching, who is the great grandfather of the family, um, or the father of the family, Don, I should say, hasn't been seen publicly like in 20 years. Um, and it's well known out on the streets that he is looking for his successor within the family. And as of right now, it looks pretty good that it's going to be his granddaughter, Laura Esching.
No connections between Cassie, O'Quinn, Cillian McGrath, um, the Squeaky Clean cleaning company. No known ties to any of that.
You're gonna have to do a scene to get that fully information. Now you feel fairly confident one way or the other though that the band members of the Only Good Mutant who are from England probably don't have a tie with the Eschings.
We still might want to interrogate them just to be sure, though.
Mhm.
Maybe we could pull them in, do a scene with them in separate rooms. I don't know if we want a good cop, bad cop, or just bullshit sniff it. But then maybe a second person could go check out the Squeaky Clean. What else was on that list? Jordan, you had sort of listed them nicely.
Yeah, we needed to try to do some research into the gunman. We don't have any solid leads there. We could go talk to hotel staff, see if we could find anyone who saw anything. Other
Or
than
video.
that,
If you have
yeah,
any
I was gonna
like
say video in the
surveillance,
lobby. Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
they use the elevator.
so and that was the other big thing. And then again, there was also the cigarette smoker we're looking for, who may or may not be the gunman or another person in the room. But that kind of leads back to just more general information we probably need to get from the hotel. So maybe like one or two people to the hotel. If the bandmates are still there, we could talk to them, although it's possible they've moved on to their own flats as well. And then, yeah, there's the peeping
They're
Tom
being held
case.
at the hotel.
Okay. So yeah, there's that, and the peeping Tom case is the only other thing, which may or may not be related, but it'll make our superiors pleased with us if we respond to that quickly. Since this is a big donor who apparently called this in.
Well, I would vote that Brock not be the one to go talk to the hotel. I don't know that he left. He would be bad cop. One of us could go in as good cop to try to get that and say, I'd hate to have Brock come in. So one of us could go talk there. What does anyone have a particular skill set that would make that that conversation good, like electronic surveillance? Would that be what we'd need to do to sort of screen for that guy, that
100%.
gunman?
100%.
Well, I have bureaucracy to get access to it, but I don't have electronic
Yep,
surveillance to
there's that too.
analyze it.
And don't forget, you guys also mentioned you wanted to talk to Maria Rodriguez. Someone did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I have data retrieval. Could that work for combing the cameras?
Yeah.
And also negotiate. So I don't know if we want to do me and do Jody to the hotel, and then you two boys either split up and do different things, or you could tag team one of our other things. So you could talk to, the reporter, or if you wanted to reach out on this peeping Tom thing, or if you wanted to look into any leads into the Eshing or the cleaning
I mean, we could
service.
all
There's options.
go to the hotel, and you two could talk to the bandmates.
Yep.
What do you think,
Just
Brock?
don't.
Where would you want to go?
I mean, I need to cool down a little bit. I can go to the hotel, but if they see me, they might be a little pissed. I'm just gonna go talk to Bambi about this peeping Tom thing. Just check that off our list.
Yeah. I'll go talk
You
to the
guys.
cleaning service.
Okay.
Okay. Two people going to the hotel, one to check cameras, one to talk to the band, right?
Sure.
Okay. Um, Brickhouse is gonna go talk to Bambi, and then the book. What were you doing?
Gonna put on one of my old Fed DOJ suits and bust out my briefcase and go talk to the cleaning service.
Okay. Let's do that scene first.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
do my best to look federal, even though I've only got the local badge
Yep. Yeah, perfect for
and come in.
bureaucracy.
Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So I'll head in and say,
Okay, perfect. So you go to Squeaky Clean Sanitation. It's actually a collection of warehouses out near the docks. There's a central place of contact for a rented office space just off of downtown. A single secretary with flaking green skin mans the phone lines and wears a WWU button. He looks up from his computer and is more than happy to politely answer any questions any official-looking person may have in between taking service calls. And this, if just with kind of your general questions, this is what he comes up with is like, uh, yes, yeah, we get hired by ABC Studios, mostly for post-concert cleanups. Uh, no, yeah, we're a national chain with offices in most major cities. Uh, let's see now. I can't reveal any contractual information. But I will tell you, we try and hire as many enhanced talent as we can. It's tough out there for us, you know. For all intents and purposes, we're and then from your own little bit of research, for all intents and purposes, Squeaky Clean and Sanitation is an up and up company. However, what kind of questions or skills research do you want to do?
First, just the general bullshit detector on the whole thing, specifically around the services that they do for ABC and for ABC and for the band in particular,
Mm-hmm.
or for the concerts in particular.
Yeah, he's totally yeah. He's like, yeah, we usually have to there's usually like some broken tables and maybe some chairs that we got to clean up. Um, yeah, just from the reports.
Yeah, unusual stuff from dealing with the band's after effects in the rooms. Anything maybe one heightened to another that we should. What questions should we be asking? Just kind of open the door for him to try to maybe give me a lead.
Hmm.
I suppose that would be maybe negotiation. I don't want to go interrogation just yet.
Right.
Just trying to be. Yeah, I don't have charm. Um,
Okay. Well, negotiations. So what are you trying to figure out and what are you offering up for it?
Well, I know that they're clean, right? But there's often these questions that come along with a cleaning company, so to speak, right? It'd be good to have a friend on the force to make sure you got someone to vouch for you when it comes to questions about crime scenes and so on. If you're into making money with that kind of work, maybe I could go that direction too. But you'd have to help me out here. What should I be asking?
Well,
What should I be thinking about? Try to
hey,
negotiate some info out of it.
hey, I just want to let you know that yeah, a lot of our folks have a record, okay? But they're turning their lives around, okay? We give them an opportunity to do to make things right with society, okay? Um, it is do negotiations. Like we already have enough help, if it honestly the Esching family has been a real blessing here. Um, it was started however many years ago. Um, no, Robert's not in right now, but if you have any formal questions or whatever, you can talk to Laura. She's real good at getting back with people. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
as far as I know, ABC has one of the top tier contracts that we've got. So they get the full workup. We don't really need to use it, it doesn't seem like, but they pay enough for our services, so we do a good job.
yeah. So Robert, is he the founder, one of the owners, a shareholder? How is the Esching? Is this an arm of the Esching family?
Well, I think it was funded by the Eschings. I don't know, maybe like 15 years ago or something like that, just to help. Like he's a good man. He's a good man.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, this is all very important to know. Um, wow. Trying to think if I've got anything else. I actually am going to need to see the names of the people you've been employing and sent out to the local cleanup jobs, especially the ones for the no the only good mutant events and ABC events.
Yeah, I don't know if I can give out that contract information. You might have to talk to Laura about that.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll let me. I'll need an appointment with Laura now. Then
Oh, oh, yeah, just give her a call. And he hands you a card, very official looking. It is Laura Esching Esquire. So yeah, you can get her on the horn whenever you'd like to. Probably next session.
I was just gonna say that sounds like something I'm gonna need to think about before we do it. Absolutely. All right, I'm good.
All
Thank you.
right. Let's go to let's go Brickhouse. Okay, you were gonna get in touch with Bambi. You actually are able to get her on the phone. She's like, yeah, just come up to her apartment. So it's Bambi Calloway is actually a locally famous model and mutant activist. Um, she welcomes you into her hotel, and she's very breathy, and she is a, like I said, model for makeup. She is locally famous because she is covered in a fine brown hair, cute little brown blackish nose, and sprouting antlers,
Awesome.
and incredibly voluptuous. She's like, well, thank you so much for coming. It's such a speedy call. Um, I So I noticed last night, I think someone was trying to get a glimpse of me. I got out of the shower, um, and normally I wouldn't think anything of it, because I'm on the eighth story, and she lives in a very nice part of town. Okay, she obviously that she makes money. In her apartment, there are like full poster sizes pictures of her for her modeling contract for these different makeup companies. Um, one in particular called Euphora. Yeah, and I looked over and I see there was a shadowy figure with bright yellow eyes and a red belt. I think he was hanging from the building across the street. And then he like scuttled around the corner and vanished as soon as he saw that I saw him. Um, you know, I'm sure that I'd seen him or at least the outfit before, but I couldn't quite place it. Can
Does
you
that
uh,
do I,
can you
can
help
I
me?
place it? Matt,
Uh,
does that ring a bell?
no, because
Description?
none of you have the one skill that is needed for all of this for some reason.
Which one?
Pop
Pop
culture.
culture.
Oh, pop culture. Can I call my friend Triple Jump? I think he has pop culture.
Yeah, if you want to, you just want to call someone, that's fine. I'll give it to you.
Like the other character that I made? Are we using those
Yeah,
guys at all?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're part of the department. You can give them a call.
All right.
And he's like, "Wh- what? It's
Yellow
what?
eyes, red belt,
What? Like Nightman?" And you're like,
defender of the.
Nightman? It's the kids' cartoon?
Oh, oh, is there
100%.
like
That's
a
what I named it after. But yeah,
nice?
it's a kids' cartoon.
Okay. Uh, thanks. We might have other weird pop culture questions. Are going to be down at the station.
No, it's my day off. Leave me alone.
Okay, we might need John at the station, Jumpy. Thanks. I'll hang up on him. Uh, Miss Calloway, it sounds like you're describing a cartoon character. Nightman,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was a Nightman costume.
but you think they were literally had the powers of Nightman and like clinging to the building?
Yeah. Like he's not real, right? Is he? Is he real?
I I will do everything in my power to find out. You have my promise.
Oh,
Miss Calloway, can I
thank
ask
you.
you about um do you know anything about Goose Wilson?
Yeah, 100%. Uh, just that he hates us. Although I hate to admit it, their songs are pretty good.
They're catchy. It's not really my kind of thing. I'm more of a uh, talk radio guy. But uh, as a as one of us, I'll like take off my glasses. If she couldn't figure out, because does everybody know that we're like mutants anyway? Though, since we're part of this division, like, are we hiding anything?
If you have a HCIU badge, you're a
Yeah.
mutant. Like, there's no getting around it. Yeah.
Okay. Um, I'm just working a case. If you had any thoughts, I'd be willing to listen.
No, just that he's spreads hate wherever he goes. And you guys haven't looked this up yet, or even tried to, but the Only Good Mutant is a very popular punk band from England. It's got about 5 big hits in the past 2 years, and their lyrics are largely about the genocide of mutant kind.
Yeah. Do your windows open, ma'am?
Well, for as much money as I'm paying, they'd better.
Uh, can I fit through?
Yeah, yeah, you can. Yeah, it like opens up on a balcony thing, you know.
Okay. I just want to get a look across the street to the building where Miss Calloway. Where exactly do you think that he was?
Okay. She gets really close to your ear and she goes like, "Oh, right over there." And you can see over there, and you're like, you see some like dark smudges on the brick.
Like across the street?
Yeah, 8 stories up.
Yeah. Uh, stay here, ma'am, and do me a favor. Not everybody knows about this one yet, so and I'll fly. And that's like a thing that I have not told the cops yet that I can fly.
Okay.
Like I'm keeping that one real close to the vest, but I'm just gonna fly over and check out these smudges and do a little evidence collection if I can.
Okay. You fly over there. It's gonna cost you like a point, I think, because you're not trying to go fast, but it does cost a point to fly. You get over there, and yeah, you've got like hand and foot like darkened indentations into the side of the brick.
Can I do uh, forensic anthropology to figure out what sort of power would do that?
Uh, Forensic anthropology, or
Yeah.
do you have residue, energy residue?
Mm,
No, the forensic anthropology. No,
Anamorphology? Would it be
yeah,
anamorphology
yeah,
to detect
anamorphology.
I have
evidence?
anamorphology.
Yeah, okay. You are looking at it and you're like, uh, this is acid.
Like somebody with acid on their hands and feet, melting into the building a little bit and then moving around. It's pretty
Yep.
specific. I want to go back and run that cross check on the database, see if we know anybody that does that eventually.
Well, you've got the
But
unofficial mutant registry.
I want to check that if anything matches up against with that.
Oh, I'm gonna make you do the work.
Oh, okay, try. Just so you know, I'm gonna not right now.
No,
Don't do
literally,
that.
there's a tab.
Yep.
He's saying you can go look it up on the tab.
Oh, I have a thing. I'm sorry, I might have missed that at the beginning. Oh yeah,
Oh,
there's
you
literally a
did.
guy.
I'm
Yeah,
so
you did.
sorry. I am so sorry. You're
It's
right.
okay.
Yeah,
There's a
on the
Keys and
registry
Mutant registry.
under the tools and mutant registry.
Yeah, I guess here now.
So,
Uh, acid.
if you guys want to help him out too and take a look, you can. So I assume you would report that in.
Double Rider is what I think we're looking at here.
Which one?
Zeb Hornsby, the Devil Rider.
Devil.
Creed acid. There it is.
What is it? Secrete acid?
Yep. And then for bonus points, because you have the thing about the secrete acid, um, go to the Quaid diagram. Look at secrete
Do we have?
acid, and then look at
Do
any
we,
superpowers that might be around that to get.
So that is going to be in one between B and C. Which,
Yeah, wall crawling's just a couple, just blade immunity over, and then or venom bite, venom stinger. Then, oh yeah, it's probably blade immunity, wall crawling.
and there is a unknown mutant goes by Hunter with the ability wall crawling. Could be one and the same, or he could just have a power that we don't know about.
And there you go. That's how you use the tools of this game, which I think is amazing. All right, so then write that down to be checking on Zeb Hornsby for next session. All right, the two people that are going to be going to the hotel. All right, you go back to the hotel. It's now in the afternoon of Monday, the day after. Um, Nothing has been reported in the newspaper or released as of yet. Just that famous Goose Wilson is being detained, but that's it. There's nothing about any charges or anything like that that's been released to the news as of yet. You guys get to the hotel. There is a growing number of both pro and anti-mutant supporters gathering outside. They're now starting to form little camps. They try to get as close to the hotel as possible. They've been pushed back by like a block. There's a little park nearby, and they're starting to set up a little tent situation there for a little city of protesters, one way or the other. All right, so you get to the hotel. Who's doing what?
You prefer?
Uh, it doesn't necessarily matter that much to me. I've got data retrieval, which would be good for sorting through the camera images if we want to check that. But I also do have, like negotiate and streetwise for talking to the bandmates. I don't know if you lean heavily in one direction or the other.
I mean, I'm not good at talking to the band,
Okay.
but I don't necessarily have good ways to. I can get the tapes. I don't know that I can analyze the tapes.
And we may not even need to do rough analysis. It may just be convince the security officer for the hotel to scroll through the footage with you and be like, look, there's a guy. I don't think that necessarily would that necessitate
Okay.
a skill. That seems pretty
I mean, you're gonna
easy.
need data retrieval
Okay.
or surveillance. I'd be fine with either one. Um,
I have
Going through the
neither, but I
system.
have bureaucracy, so I can convince them to look through it for me.
Uh, uh,
I mean, we could tag team both and tag
Yeah,
team
yeah.
the
let's just
Why don't
team
camera
up.
and then the
Why not?
why don't
bandmate.
we just do both? Okay. Let's do the least interesting of the two. But you guys, between the two of you, you have the skills enough to be able to look at the cameras. Okay.
Yeah.
While it may be least
Mm.
interesting, it also might give you a little bit more information that you're looking for. All right. So here's the idea: is that you have cameras in the hallways of the regular hotel, okay, of the lobby, and of the bar, okay? You only have so much time to look at certain things. Now, you've got a ballpark time period for the hallway on the main floor coming away from the private elevator. So you can start there, okay? Around 10:45 or so, you do see an agitated man who is trying to stay out of camera or whatever, hustling his way down, wearing a tweed suit and a vote for teal little sticker on his lapel. Okay. He seemed to have come down from an elevator, so that means he has a room at the hotel. So he came down another elevator and then went over to the private elevator and then comes back down a little bit later and just hightails it out the exit. Like his demeanor between going in and leaving are two very different things happening. Going there, angry, focused. Leaving, He is just a total like law guy, and like he's gotta run away. He's gotta leave.
Well, I think he must not be a distraction for the incident in the room. Still would like to talk to him.
Yeah, it would be very good to talk to him. It would also be interesting to see if there's anything to indicate that he was being puppeted or controlled for this.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Well, so you don't know who it is. Just a Caucasian male, around
Yep.
6 feet, brown hair. Vote for two.
Can we pull in one of the hotel security guards and ask them if they had a guest staying here? Like, can we ask point, show them coming down from the elevator? Like, is this someone who has a room here?
I was gonna ask a hotel receptionist similar question. Did you check this man in?
Okay. Between the cameras, yeah, you know what? I think this is okay to do. Where we're at with the storyline, this makes the most sense. You get it pinned down, and you think that it's a man named Vic Hansen. He is the organizer for the Federalist Party in this city.
Huh.
All right. You guys want to look at any more camera stuff?
That's a big thing for me.
Okay.
Could we check on the? I'd like to check on the hallway and see if we can find where Vanessa and Goose were going up, and check double check their timeline consistency as to when exactly they were headed up. Does that match? Also, was she smoking? I'm curious. Also, was
Did anybody
this guy
else go up the
smoking?
private
Yep,
elevator?
yep. Was Vic smoking? Could we tell?
Okay. So now there are no cameras pointed directly at the private elevator entrance. Okay. So they want their own privacy. You can kind of get around it if you really need to. Now, that being said, um, like Goose isn't trying to hide anything, right? Yeah, you see him in the Vanessa pool, very handsy with each other, stumbling down a hallway, oh, like around. So it was a show for a fundraiser, right? Concert. So it wasn't like going to 2 a.m. It ended like around 10, right? So you're guessing around like 10:15. Would be a pretty quick pickup for Goose, but that's fine. Stumbles down there, and Al Manzoor follows a respectful distance away.
Do we see anyone else between the time that Vic goes up headed that way?
Between Vic, so Vic goes up, Vic comes down. Two lawyers show up, and then the police. Sorry, hold on. You gotta get my timeline right. All right, Vic goes up, Vic comes down. A man wearing a white suit goes up, leaves. Police get there, make a bloody mess of everything. Once you see Al Manzoor get wheeled out of there, that's when all the police just leave. They realize that there's a mutant involved. They 100% just drop the case. You know exactly the sergeant that did it. It's his MO. As soon as he sniffs something that might be too difficult or is dealing with the mutants, he will drop it like a hot rock because it messes with his closure rates.
Yeah, so no one went up in between Wilson, and Vic.
Correct.
Okay. And the man in the white suit, did that match the description of the larger lawyer that was talked to earlier today?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh,
So
so
Nope.
we have
we need to
another
figure out
It
who
does
person.
that
not match
Is he
Sharon.
smoking?
Yeah, he was.
uh-huh.
Ooh, we need to figure out who this man in the white suit is.
Do we see him on any of the other cameras in that time frame? Like, did he come from the bar or a different hotel room?
Nope. It's a little strange too. Like it seems like whenever you're walking in front of the cameras, you don't get a good look at his face. There's like a camera flare or something like that, so you just never get a good look at him.
A lot of power. Sorry, I'm looking down power options.
Yep, that's fine.
I can do
I'm
this
just
in my own
taking
time
some
between
notes
now and next
there.
time.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
let's
I
get
was
to
taking some
let's
notes.
get to the final scene of the night.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so the two other band members are still at the hotel, and they're, well, I'll tell you exactly. Cassio Quinn and Killian McGrath are sharing a room. Oh, I'm sorry, they're at a different hotel, at the Barriston Hotel, not too far away, but it's definitely in the less, it's a modest room. Like, it's kind of on the poor side of town. Modest room filled with cigarette smoke despite the no smoking sign clearly bolted to the table. The pair are using it as a default stubbing post. It looks like they've both been wearing the same sweat-stained t-shirts and cut-off denim vests for days. The stench is barely covered by the smoke. They appear agitated. They must answer and meet the police, not because they're scared. They just don't like authority figures. Both band members know that Wilson's a creep. They try to avoid hanging out with him as much as possible. Honestly, if it weren't for Shanty Rochelle, they would have left the band a long time ago. As far as the attack, they don't really know anything. Look, O'Quinn says that she was talking to her wife, like she does after every concert. And McGrath was at a bar called Paradise Found getting drunk, as was his tradition after a show. They just.
What are they smoking?
Mm, 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 mm. You have olfactory,
Yep.
and not that you're a smoking genius or anything, but you're like, nope, this is different.
Okay.
Uh, You can do a quick evidence collection, which I'm pretty sure that's like one of the most common skills
I can
people
help
have.
with.
Um,
Okay.
it is cheap whiskey cigarettes. They both smoke the same brand because it's just easier to bum off each other if they do. And they're just staring at you. They're like just smoking like chimneys. Like they don't open the window to the room. It's disgusting in there. They don't want you to be here. They don't want to be there themselves. What do you want?
Who hired you for the gig?
Oh, uh, 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 yeah, I don't want to be here either. But I told him, how fucking punk is it to do a corporate retreat sort of thing? Know what I mean? Uh, but apparently, whoever hired us demanded that it was just us to get there. So they paid like triple to get us, if you can believe it. Uh, Still, I don't think we should have done it. Um, and so you're trying to figure out like what is he talking about? And you're like, I mean, the Federalist Party, I guess, paid for it. Not that they would really know. Now, nope. I bet that's all I'm going to say about that.
Mhm.
So unusual, not their normal gig.
Got it.
Ask them how they know the Esching family.
Yeah, I was also before I get there. Have you guys had any dealings with Vic Hansen while you've been in town?
Who?
Okay, that answers that question.
But then Killian looks over at Cassie, and Cassie's like, "Well, was he that little dweeb that Goose fired?" Well, I don't know. I didn't catch his name. Yeah, there was some guy. He brought him up on stage and fired him, right? Because of the one of them, one of the groupies outside or the fans or whatever got a little bit too close and they accidentally touched Goose Wilson. God forbid.
Can you tell me what this person was wearing? There he got fired.
Like asking what Vic was wearing.
Mhm.
It's like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. He's just office material. What is it? Tweed? Who wears tweed anymore? He's not in fucking English.
And what was he doing for you guys that Wilson was able to fire him?
Oh, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. Was he our bag boy? Nah, man. I think he is the one that paid us. It's like, what? What do you mean he paid us? He's the one that wrote the checks. He didn't pay him ourselves. So you can tell there's a little bit of confusion. They don't exactly know what Vic's role was, but it's that he worked with the Federalists.
And when you say that Wilson fired him, what do you mean by that? How do you fire someone who pays you?
Well, you have to ask Goose. He just brought him up on stage, made him look like a total dingus, and then told him he's fired. I doubt he could actually fire him, but that little that guy, he seemed pretty upset about the whole deal.
Yeah, Vic, it was Vic that was organizer of the whole rally, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have some questions. It seems like you guys have a regular cleaning service. You guys cause a lot of property destruction, whole rock and roll punk vibe.
I mean, I don't know who cleans up after us, but I hope they're definitely getting their money's worth.
Does the name Eschen ring a bell to either of you?
Nah, mate.
Bullshit detection?
No, they seem pretty on the up and up here.
Okay, just curious on that. Well, that answers a lot of our questions. Ms. Pulsfut, do you have anything else for them? All right, well, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Please stay where we can get a hold of you, but that's all we have for questions right now.
Hey, can you get us upgraded? This is bullshit.
Oh, I guess one other thing, just
You're
like
on
a vibe check. Oh, was Rachel talking?
mute. I think she tried.
I just said we have no power over that. No power over your room. That's
What
all.
good are you? What, just a
One
bunch
last
of
thing, just
mutants?
like a general vibe check. Are they as disrespectful to us as Wilson's been? Wilson goes out of his way to be a creep towards any mutant, from what we can tell.
Yeah, 100%. You feel that you can't tell if they just don't like you because you're mutants or that you're cops. You don't get the feeling that it's personal all that much. Um, Goose, you felt it was personal.
Yeah. Cool. Then, yeah, I think that's the questions we have for that scene, unless.
Do you have any skills you want to
No,
use?
that's all I
That's actually a good question. I should be thinking about that more.
like you get the feeling that Cassie is the hard one and Killian
Oh,
is just like wants to get out of there.
I want to get fingerprints and see if they match the fourth unidentified, just in case. I doubt
Yeah.
they do, but
Take fingerprints from him? Yeah, you can
any
do that.
extra
That's
people,
fine. Uh,
any extra people we run across, I'm getting fingerprints on whoever I can.
okay. Yeah, there's no hit on him. Not for anything serious anyway, and they definitely weren't up in the room.
Okay.
You
Yeah, I
kind of
would
get
be
the
comparing it
feeling,
to the unidentified one in the room. I would be like
yeah,
looking at it and being like, oh, that doesn't match. Oh, that doesn't match.
yeah. You get kind of the feeling that Goose wants as little interaction with his bandmates as possible, and they don't
Sure.
want to have anything to do with him either.
Hmm.
You could ask him if they were aware that if he died, they would inherit his songs, his portfolio.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That would have been mentioned. Yeah, I will bring that up.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that'll be a leveraged clue. So if you bring up getting the rights to Goose Wilson songs, if he died, uh, O'Quinn, Cassie O'Quinn, the woman, totally clueless. But Killian McGrath, yeah, yeah, I knew something about that. Uh, but you know what? The man is a bastard, and I want him. I don't care for him, but I'm not waiting around for Wilson to choke on his own knife. And I'm not gonna. There's no reason that I would kill him.
Bullshit
Ooh,
detector.
you're like, um, some of that's very true, and some of that is not true. That's how bullshit detection works, is that I don't give you 100% one or the other, but you're like, okay, you think you're like, you're pretty sure there's no bullshit about him saying that he wouldn't kill him. You you're pretty sure about that, but the not having a reason to do it, that's the part they think is BS.
If you two seem to dislike each other, if you don't mind me saying so, why would he leave you his songs?
Oh, it's it's just it's how the contract was written up. I don't know if that idiot can read.
Did you read the contract up?
I got my hands on it once.
And why exactly do you guys have a falling out with him? You seem to avoid each other as much as possible.
You met him, he's a prat. Uh your bullshit detector goes off.
Okay. And
I mean,
that's enough reason to avoid him, despite all the money you're bringing in.
oh, you're gonna have to use a skill here.
Okay. Let's see. Can I use negotiation? Threaten to take
Mm,
him in for questioning unless he, gives me reason to believe he's not involved.
you give him negotiations to either you're gonna charge him with something.
Not even necessarily charge him, just take him in for questioning, get him tied up in red tape, waste a lot of his time unless he's willing to be more
Mm,
forthcoming.
okay, he does hate red tape. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, he's like, all right, look. This is McGrath talking. He's like, look, all right, yeah, look. He found out that I have a little problem. And Cassie just looks at him in disgust. He's like, oh, yeah, I was getting a Endorphin hit, all right? And he wants me out of the band for it. I'm not going to let that little prick push me out. All right. Dorfing is a specific superpower that mutants have that enhance another person's endorphins in their body. It's not illegal to sell hits of Dorfing, but you can still go to jail for it. It's a very weird case. They haven't quite figured out how to, because it's a very addictive practice. And if the press found out that a band member from a mutant hating group is a dwarfing addict, it would ruin their image. And he's like, yeah, that's why I was at the bar, all right? Okay. And I'm going to call scene there.
Okay.
I think you guys did a pretty good job. You got most of everything. I would say every scene that you guys did, probably left one or two clues on the table at each scene. I think that's to be expected though, because I put like 4 clues in every scene, which is a ridiculous amount, I think. But um,
Us not
all right,
having pop culture is a thing. It's a
I
real barrier
I
here. So
can't believe that one came up like 3 times, but um, and then what's going to be funny? You're never going to need it again, right? That was it. That was that time to shine. That's it. Um, first of all, did you guys have fun? What do you think of the system and how it works?
I enjoyed it. It's an interesting way of doing things. I do think it works better than a lot of RPG styles for investigation.
Yeah, 100%. And that was something I forgot to bring up at the beginning. For folks that haven't heard it, is that that's why Gumshoe was made in the first place. Is that you you automatically get the clue when you go into the scene, and then you can get stuff to move forward. Like you're never bottlenecked, but that also means you get a ton of clues that may lead you in a lot of different areas that may not get you there. Um, and there's also a ton of leads where you can go. Like now that you've talked to people, like where do you think you want to go next, or do you have any theories as of yet?
both the band members have reasons to hate him and want him dead. They have this sort of tangential connection to the crime family that employed the assassin that tried to kill him, but I'm not convinced it was the band members necessarily.
I am also curious if the Esching family is mostly mutants. We know the cleaning company they run has an unusual amount of mutants.
The white suit with the cloves,
Yeah,
right? Like
that's a big one we need to find
got to
out
figure out
more
who
on.
that is, right? But I think that talking with Laura of the Eschings, like that's gonna probably tell us a lot. But
We do also need to talk to Vic. I mean, that's could be self-explanatory, where he was just a dick to him, and he went up to threaten him, got flustered by a mutant bodyguard, and shot him, since he hates mutants. But that could also be something bigger.
And the
but right now
bodyguard.
I don't. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Right now we don't have anything more than we have no evidence that says that Goose didn't stab this woman in self-defense. Do we
Mhm.
have anything that says that did not happen? We have suspicions, but we don't. Yeah, I don't think we have any solid piece of evidence that contradicts that at this point.
Yeah,
So
that's a great point. So I was going to bring it back to you because the case is, can you convict anyone of anything as of yet? Right now, you have a name for you got Vic Hansen for attempted murder, maybe.
Mhm.
Um, you got motive, you've got a name, you've got a murder weapon. Well, you don't have it, but you know that it's a 22 for attempted. Now, did he know that the bodyguard was going to be totally fine? I don't know, maybe. So like that is one charge you have. Is there any other evidence or arrest that you think you can make right now or even talk about?
I think someone hired the assassin, and hiring someone to kill someone is a crime. Um, of course. But Vic Hansen, I don't know that was like he didn't plan to go shoot the guy, right? Like it was a scuffle where someone got shot, so that's bad enough. But I don't know that. I'm more curious why the bodyguard is hiding out in the hospital. I think there's probably something bigger going on that is sitting off to the side. But I don't know that there's a crime that's going on there. But it seems something is interesting.
Agreed.
Okay. That's awesome. That's a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. So I will end on this note. So you guys have done 2 of the 3 for a thing. Now, I'm introducing a new time element to the game where you can work 24 hours if you want to. Okay? But you're going to start taking minuses on all your physical skills when you go to use them. All right? So you guys have to decide. It's 8 p.m. You guys have done all the stuff you need to for Monday. Whether to keep going the next time we get together through midnight, or are you going to sleep? Or do you transition over to your secondary characters based on the information that you have to hand it over to them to have them keep going? It's up to you. Something to think about. I think it's an interesting, fun thing to do. But you've got 2 names. You got Vic Hansen for whatever happened with the bodyguard, and you've got Zeb to check on for the Peeping Tom case. Thank you guys. I hope it was fun. I know it's getting late. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. That was
Thanks,
great.
Jared.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good,
too.
good. I'll do a write up and I'll send it out sometime this week. And then we'll see you
Yeah.
guys who's doing Honor Bound next week. So awesome. Bye, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. Good
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.